And without separating, I've just allowed this to have more downward pressure. So in essence, I've gone from the interior, once I make attachment, to the downward pressure right here. And I've retracted this to the hip. So retracting, as you can see, once I make contact, boom, it disrupts his balance and puts him in a position where his punching probably isn't quite as strong, except for that target he's looking at right there. Now keep in mind, once we respond in drawing off balance with our retraction, we also want to explode. This creates that head-on collision effect. So utilizing the interior block with adhesion, boom, there's the head. You can see the impact coming. Now from the palm hit, I can either extend my forearm, pop, and popping with the forearm as I load back up with my other elbow, and I'm put back into the lock, and the lock or the posture is still here at the hip. Okay? This is working the exterior line and drawing him out. Remember, closing the line limits his access with his other tools or his other weapons, and it also outbalances him. So let's work it off the right hand, and I'll do an interior line. You'll notice that this puts me in a heck of a position to really get clang. So unless I'm striking, boom, at the same time I'm attaching, then turning, see, now I'm in position where I've somewhat limited the power of his left hand or his left tool. At the same time, from the strike here, I can fold or collapse the arm and get the elbow. Now from here, I'm in a good position to step in. I've got his hand bound because of the retraction and attached to my abdominal area for pressure into the forearm or his bicep. And I can disrupt his weight with both of the throws there. So off that interior line, 1, 2, I've got to hit immediately and turn this, outbalancing him, dropping his shoulder past the back of the heel. And that allows me to just take this guy down with a limited amount of power. Okay? Off the left hand, deflection, turn, and pressure. Okay? The hit isn't quite as necessary if I can make the attachment and add that pressure. Whereas on the interior line, 1, 2, I've got to get that hit, or you're going to fire this at. Utilizing that concept, the retraction becomes very valuable, and at the same time, it's a necessity for adhesion to retract. If I'm going to grab a hold of him, I might as well retract. That allows me to outbalance him and take advantage of that area as well. Now the water faucet theory works real well in a variety of different situations. Say he's pointing at me, giving me a little bad time. The water faucet technique allows me just to take the finger. He does that again. From here, see now I can turn that into a circle. It applies into the locking lines. So the water faucet, let's try the right hand. I'm just going down, placing my hand on his, utilizing my thumb, and actually taking my index finger and pointing. That allows me to keep free flow through here. At the same time, I don't want to necessarily be bound. Sometimes when we close the fist, we start looking for directions to put the hand or direct that energy, whereas if the finger's open, we can just press and look straight ahead. So that finger has a tendency to guides us down. So we utilize the retraction and the faucet line, and each one of those, as his movements drop, finger, boom, wham, I want to close in and go to the hip. Now you can see we've got downward pressure. He's following the pain of the finger. I'm springing off that with the hip. Okay, so the retraction, boom. The water faucet technique works in relationship. Let's say he grabs to the chest. Okay, naturally, he's got a good grip on me. I've got to deflect or hit him. Now I turn this into a retraction line, then I press into the water faucet line. So I turn the wrist and draw that back, rolling his forearm into position for a lock. Then I allow the pressure from the water faucet or the small circle line to drive his energy down. Okay? One of the most important things I found in working joint manipulations is to divide the body up. Naturally, it's easier. The first thing in is the hand. So you start with the hand either to attack it, or if it's presented to you in more of a passive way, meaning the guy isn't striking at you, say he's just grabbing or pointing his finger at you, you can activate and implement locking lines on the wrist. Then you work your way up into the body. There again, it's a safer range because once we have activation of the hand, or we can start applying our wrist strike, we can feed the strikes to the face and to the head, and hopefully we've got him at least in enough pain that he's not interested in clanging us, or if he is, he's doing it in an off-balance kind of reaction to the pain sort of way, you know, if you get what I'm saying. In other words, as he grabs, boom, I got to hit him. Now I'm going to turn this over. Gee, there's the fingers, there's the thumb. For one, there's the arm bar, and I've softened him up, right? So from the grab and turning to the exterior, I can hit to the eyes or the face, kick to the leg, and still maintain my balance and turn this over, okay? So part of the idea of what we want to do is work our way into this guy, utilize our long-range tools to destruct and destroy. If he's only interested in grabbing us, I feel that that's a hostile enough move that I can make an initial strike, then control him and contain him. If he continues to squirm from there, I'm going to lock him up or put him into some other posture. Let's go with the grab again. I tap or lock and secure his hand positions, or a gunting here to loosen up the lock, bang, boom, and fire it back into the face. In this case, a knife hand to the temple area. I can grab that ear and pull it down right into the knee. Now I think I've probably softened him up. From there, I turn the wrist over. Now from here, you got the traditional front kick to the leg or to the face, and at the same time, what we want to do is turn this into a controlling line. So with the wrist turned out, there's that thumb. We're going to reach in and grab that thumb, cradle his wrist or his first index knuckles right here against my wrist. As we do that, it circles in and we have a support area. I am fulcruming against my rib cage for pressure. From this position, he probably feels it, right? From here, it's an issue of spinning him around and taking him into that wall. This should soften him up. From there, I continue my circle back into the arm bar. Now you can see we got foot adhesion. From this posture here, I can just boot the foot out and take him to the floor. But we'll work on that a little bit later when we integrate the whole concept as a total package. Stepping back, he grabs to the chest, I trap and I hammer down. This weakens grip. Bang! And I respond and fire off that. Turn this up. Here's that thumb. I grab it just like that. My thumb's pointing up, his thumb's pointing up. Thumb pad support. I come in, I slap the inner part of his elbow, bicep and forearm attachment area, come in and apply the hammer this way. Thumb lock hammer. Okay? From there, I can either spin him. What I want to do is lead him with the pressure just by stepping around. Say this takes him right into the wall. That gives me the arm bar. From the arm bar, I can either free up. I can use the arm bar with pressure on my chest and allow the hitting. Boom. Or I can attach here and step back out. Now, as you can see, with this hand position, it's an outward wrist turn and the fingers are pointing up. Okay? We'll cover this moment. Let's go back to that one again. Grab strikes, I trap, hammer fist, boom. I roll this out, reveal the thumb, grab the thumb, pop him in, pull him in position. Now I decide that he's still squirming, so I'm just going to spin around, take him to the car or the wall, take him to the wall, boom. At the same time, hyperextend that elbow. Now put him in position to where I've got the lock. Come on with me. And I'm trying to manipulate and control him. According to his foot position, I can add that pressure there as well. Okay? Good work, Mary. Let's go to the outward wrist turn. So that leads to the inward turn with the thumb lock. Let's go to the outward wrist turn. From the grab, bang, I hit and I turn this out. Okay? Now that could activate his punch to my head. So when he grabs, boom, boom, I want to make sure that this is a solid strike to his face area. As I grab and peel, his fingers stand up. This allows me to grab the whole finger position and turn it. That reveals that thumb. So either from here, now from here, I can add the pressure